For 32 years, the Red Sea has been Ethiopia's missing lung. The coastline once hers, now fenced off by rivals, history, and fear. The question is no longer should Ethiopia return to the sea. It's who dares to open the gate and who is willing to burn the bridge to keep it closed. Way good fun! Welcome to Semonignamedia Spotlight, your front row seat to the Horn of Africa's rawest power struggles and unfinished wars. Tonight, we're peeling back the curtain on the storm behind the shoreline, Ethiopia's Red Sea comeback, a dream born from loss, fueled by pride, and now colliding head-on with geopolitics. This isn't just about a port, it's about survival, it's about dignity. It's about whether a nation of 120 million can remain boxed inland forever, or whether history is about to swing open a door the world tried to seal shut. Because before Ethiopia can touch the water, she must first face the 7 gatekeepers standing in the way.
A dream that refuses to die. When Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed stood before Parliament last year and declared, "The Red Sea is a matter of life or death for Ethiopia," the statement sent shockwaves across the Horn. Ethiopia's quest for sea access isn't new. It's a generational wound. Since Eritrea's 1993 independence, Addis Ababa has been trapped inland, a landlocked giant with 120 million people and no coast. For 3 decades, Ethiopia has paid billions in port fees to Djibouti. Every container that leaves or enters the country bleeds money and time. Now, Ethiopia wants to end that, but behind the ambition lies a storm of resistance, from neighbors, from history, and from hard reality. The case for Ethiopia. Why the sea matters. Ethiopia's economy is booming, at least on paper, but it's also suffocating. 9 out of 10 Ethiopian exports must pass through Djibouti, giving that tiny neighbor an oversized grip on Ethiopia's lifeline. Access to the sea isn't just pride, it's oxygen. Economists say direct sea access could slash Ethiopia's transport costs by 30%, supercharge its industrial exports, and allow it to dream of something bigger, a naval presence, a blue water economy, a say in the Red Sea's future. And let's be real, every Ethiopian knows the pain of seeing a map where the land of Sheba ends before it touches the ocean. Ethiopia's message was clear: a great nation cannot stay landlocked forever. The case against the 7 walls around the water. But for every dreamer in Addis, there's a skeptic in Asmara, Mogadishu, or Cairo. Here are the 7 cliffs Ethiopia must climb before it even smells salt water. Somalia's rage. The Somaliland MOU lit the fuse. Mogadishu called it an act of war. The African Union called it illegal. And Arab League powers quietly took Somalia's side. Ethiopia may have won a signature, but it lost a continent's sympathy. Eritrea's ghosts. Asmara is watching and waiting. President Isaias Afwerki, who once shared a Peace Prize handshake with Abiy, now treats Ethiopia's Red Sea talk as a veiled invasion plan. Eritrea's new slogan? Ethiopia wants the sea, but not the peace. Djibouti's fear. For Djibouti, Ethiopia's ambition isn't strategy, it's survival threat. If Addis shifts its trade routes to Berbera or Assab, Djibouti's economy collapses overnight. So every whisper of Ethiopia's naval plan sends alarms ringing from the French base to the Chinese one. Egypt's shadow. Cairo sees the Red Sea as part of its own Nile defense perimeter. Any Ethiopian move northward, by land or diplomacy, triggers Egypt's old reflex: contain Addis. Egyptian media already mocks Abiy's sea plan as a fantasy born from the dam's arrogance. Internal fire. Ethiopia is bleeding from within. Amhara conflict, Tigray fragility, Oromo unrest. Every new foreign adventure risks igniting internal chaos. Critics ask, how can you claim new land when you can't even secure the one you have? Money and muscle. A navy costs billions. A port lease costs billions more. Ethiopia's currency is sliding, debt is climbing, and foreign investors are cautious. Can a country fighting inflation really afford a coast? World Power Games. The Red Sea is already crowded. US, China, France, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. Every move Ethiopia makes runs through a minefield of superpower interests. The Red Sea is no longer an empty shore. It's a chessboard. The stillborn strategy, or the blueprint for a comeback. A recent Eurasia Review analysis called Ethiopia's Red Sea strategy stillborn, arguing that Abiy's rhetoric lacks the alliances, legal grounding, and economic muscle to deliver results. But not everyone agrees. A Inkstick media report offered the counterview. If Ethiopia can trade peace for prosperity, cooperating with Egypt and Sudan on the Nile while building regional trust, it can turn the sea dream into a shared reality. That's the crossroads. Either Ethiopia's Red Sea ambition becomes a diplomatic masterstroke, or it becomes the next great regional crisis. The odds and evens. Can Ethiopia win this? Let's break it down semonignamedia style. Odds and evens. The evens. Favorable odds. The GERD's completion gives Ethiopia confidence and leverage. The economy's sheer size makes port partners inevitable. Gulf states like the UAE want stable trade routes. They may quietly back Ethiopia's expansion. Ethiopia's peace overtures to Eritrea and Sudan could thaw the ice. If done smartly, the odds, hard walls, diplomatic isolation if Ethiopia moves unilaterally, legal paralysis over Somaliland's status. Egypt's deep regional network, from Riyadh to Asmara, can choke Ethiopia's outreach. Internal unrest may distract or derail external plans. So yes, the sea is closer than it's been in 30 years, but it's still one wrong step away from becoming a mirage. How Ethiopia could still pull it off, turn rivals into stakeholders, offer Somalia a revenue share, offer Djibouti joint infrastructure, offer Eritrea peace for port guarantees. The sea can be shared, not conquered. Anchor in law, not emotion. Formalize agreements under international maritime law. Make it legal, not loud. Build economic leverage. Use GERD power exports to fund logistics, ships, and port investment. Let energy finance access. Make peace the currency. Every border calm, every peace deal, every regional handshake buys diplomatic insurance for the Red Sea goal. So, can Ethiopia break the tide? History says the Red Sea was once Ethiopia's door to the world. Axum's trade routes stretched from Adulis to India. But modern geopolitics is cruel. Every coastline now belongs to someone else. Still, if ambition alone could raise tides, Ethiopia would already have its port. The Red Sea dream stands on a knife's edge. 7 obstacles, 1 destiny. This has been Semonignamedia Spotlight, where the Horn's dreams meet their reckoning. And we leave you with tonight's cliffhanger. Can Ethiopia turn its Red Sea dream into a shared prosperity? Or will its neighbors drown it in diplomacy before it ever reaches the shore? Waygud fan, stay tuned. Because on this sea, the waves are just beginning to rise.